Okay, good evening. Welcome to the San Marino Unified School District Board of Education special meeting. Here is your board president, Mrs. Namjack.
Thank you, Dr. Choi. Good evening and welcome to the San Marino Unified School District State of the District Address. This is a special Board of Education meeting and it will be delivered in presentation format. We will take questions from the Board of Education at the end of the presentation. And if members of the public have questions or comments, we ask that you email them to Jennifer Delatorre at jDelatorre@smusd.us. She will direct them to the proper staff for handling. The purpose of this meeting is to provide the Board of Education and the general public with information on the status of the district's operational and instructional programs aligned to the Board of Education's 2021-22 goals. It is important to my team and I that we provide the board and the public with timely information and updates. This evening, you will hear from our board president, the San Marino Schools Foundation, district cabinet, and all 4 school site principals. You will also get to preview excerpts from 2 of our school anthem videos. Now I would like to introduce you to an incredibly brilliant, well-educated, articulate, dedicated, and hardworking lady leader who volunteered when we needed her most to return to her post on the Board of Education after having served 2 prior terms. I give you our fearless leader, Board President, Mrs. Namjack.
Thank you, Superintendent Dr. Delatorre. Thank you so much. Thank you. I am, with that wonderful introduction for our State of the District Address, I'm going to start the board meeting and remind everybody that all meetings of the board are open to members of the public unless publicly noticed as a confidential closed session as allowed by law. Members of the public may address the board as outlined in the public comments section of the agenda. The audio of all meetings is recorded and the member of the public may be held liable for any slanderous or otherwise defamatory statements. In consideration of the board and members of the audience, please turn off, silence your cell phones while you are in this meeting. The Unified District encourages those with disabilities to participate fully in the public meeting process. If you need a disability-related modification or accommodation, including auxiliary aids or services to participate in the meeting, contact the assistant to the superintendent at jdelatorre@smusd.us or 626-299-7000, extension 1310, at least 48 hours before the scheduled board meeting, so we may make every reasonable effort to accommodate you. Documents provided to a majority of the board regarding an open session item on this agenda will be made available for public inspection in the district office located at 1665 West Drive, San Marino, during normal business hours. In addition, such writings and documents may be viewed on the district's website at www.smusd.us. I would like everyone to stand so we can say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We are now at item 4 of our agenda, which is the approval of the agenda. May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Mrs. Ryan, a second, please.
Second.
Mr. Chang, roll call vote. Mrs. Ryan?
Aye.
Mrs. Chan?
Aye.
Mr. Chang?
Aye.
Mr. Kalaki?
Aye.
School board members?
Aye.
Thank you. And Namjack, aye. Motion unanimously passed. Public comments, number 5, the Board of Education has adopted Board Policy 9323B to ensure the public's right to be heard in any matters pertaining to the school district. Persons who wish to provide public comment will have 3 options. 1, submit through an online form. 2, request to speak during the meeting via Q&A and phone dial-in. Or 3, request to speak during the meeting in person via public comment card. First, With respect to submitting an online form, the public may submit public comments for open session on February 2nd from 11 a.m. to 3:30. Comments received during this time will not be read at the meeting, but will be provided to the Board of Education. Dr. Choi, is it correct to say that no one submitted a request through the online portal?
That is correct, President Jack.
Thank you. Request to speak during the meeting via Q&A and phone dial-in. During public comment, the meeting will pause for 1 minute to take requests to speak. Hand function is used to take requests during the public comment period. For online attendees, please press the raise hand icon to add yourself to the queue. For phone attendees, dial *9. The speaking order will be determined based on the order of requests received. Individual speakers will be unmuted and called to order. The third potential item, way to speak is during the meeting in person via the public comment card. Please complete the public comment card and submit the completed card in the designated drop box with the assistant to the superintendent no later than when the agenda section is called by the board president, and in this case, information discussion with respect to the state of the district. Opportunities for public comment are offered prior to the information section for matters on the agenda. The board reserves the right to add a public comment period prior to any individual item on the agenda. 5 minutes may be allotted to each speaker and a maximum of 20 minutes to each subject matter. However, in the event there are more than 4 speakers on the same subject matter, the board president retains the discretion to adjust and limit the time allocated to each speaker to ensure that all wishing to speak will be heard within the 20-minute allotment. Now we come to number 5A, communications from the audience regarding matters on the agenda may be heard at this time but not responded to. Dr. Choi?
President Jack, we're pausing for 1 minute to take requests to speak regarding matters on the agenda. If you'd like to make a request to speak, please press the raise hand icon, dial *9, or submit a public comment card. We have 30 seconds remaining. If you'd like to make a request to speak regarding matters on the agenda, please press the raise hand icon, dial *9, or submit a public comment card. Okay, we have no requests.
All right, thank you, Dr. Choi. We will now begin the State of the District address. First of all, I would like to say Happy Lunar New Year to everybody here on the stage and to everybody in our audience, whether you are online or in person. It's one of my favorite times of the year. I appreciate the cultural aspect that it brings to our rich community and am feeling very fortunate that we have and are able to have such a rich fabric in order to help educate our children and enrich our community. On behalf of the board, I would like to express my gratitude. During this ongoing pandemic, our entire community of parents, students, teachers, counselors, classified staff, principals, assistant principals, and school district administrators under the leadership of our wonderful superintendent, Dr. Linda Delatorre, have been united in the common goal that student learning should not be compromised. Despite these unprecedented times, we have all come together, unwavering in our dedication to keep our students safe and to continue to provide the optimum environment in which they can thrive academically and socially. We have been able to weather this storm because we live in this community. This is one of the many reasons why I believe San Marino is so very, very special. On behalf of the board, I would like to express our gratitude for everyone's patience and flexibility as we navigate these challenging times and the quagmire of ever-changing state, county, and local laws. Dr. Choi, may I have the first slide, please? I would like to begin by introducing our current Board of Education. I am the president for the current term. Mrs. Jane Chan is our vice president. Mr. C. Joseph Chang is our clerk, and Mr. Kalaki and Mrs. Ryan are our board members. I would like to thank and commend each and every one of you. You have each brought your own perspectives and valuable experiences to the school board. I would like to specifically say thanks to one board member, Mr. C. Joseph Chang. Because of his long-standing health expertise and background, he has been an invaluable help in providing concrete solutions dealing with our COVID issues. Next slide, please. The school board and administration are guided by our strategic plan, comprised of our school district's vision, mission, goals, and objectives, cornerstones of success, and what we hope our graduates will be. Our vision is to deliver a world-class education with excellence in academic, arts, and athletics. Our mission is to deliver supportive and innovative opportunities for student learning in order to achieve student excellence, collaboration and discovery, challenging them to take responsibility as members of the global community. Next slide, please. In July of 2021, our board and cabinet held our annual board retreat facilitated by a California School Board Association consultant to guide the board through the process of developing its 2021-2022 board goals. The 4 goals agreed upon are working to support the social emotional well-being of our students and staff, effectively assessing and addressing learning regression and variability, providing comprehensive professional development for all staff, and working toward a plan for long-term fiscal stability of the school district over time. After defining our goals, it is then the process that we ask our superintendent, her cabinet, and our principals to utilize their expertise to effectuate these goals as administrators and educators, which they have been working diligently to do so. Next slide, please. Okay. At this point in time, I would like to introduce and ask them to, right, to come where? Right there. Okay, to come up here near our stage. I would like to introduce 2 leaders in our community who really embody all the best and great qualities of what it is meant to be a community volunteer. They really are the best of the best. I would like to introduce Erin Belvato, president of the San Marino Schools Foundation, who has graciously, this is her 3rd year serving as president. And I would like to also introduce Catherine Oliveras, who was a secretary on the board of the foundation and is now the annual programs and campaign chair. Without their efforts, as well as those on the board, the district would not be where it is today, as we ask the foundation every year to help close the funding gap and raise $2 million. Since 1980, when the foundation was founded to provide financial support to the school district, it has raised over $53 million. So a heartfelt thanks to the foundation, President Belvato, Catherine Oliveras. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for inviting us to provide an update on our progress this year and to make a very special presentation to the school district and to make a very special award to one of our long-term supporters here in San Marino. The first order of business is I would like to congratulate Catherine Oliveras, who has been selected by our Board of Trustees to become our leader of the foundation here permanently in San Marino. She is taking on the manager of our annual campaign and running our foundation office and our programs. She is a talented, amazing parent, community leader, has great expertise in our PTAs, and we think will really be the great asset to us as we lead forward in supporting the school district. So welcome, Catherine. You will see her. You will see her as a very present leader on the campuses, in the foundation office, and we're really excited to have her aboard. Our update for you this evening, we are very pleased to let you know that we have received donations so far this year from 800 families and community members. We have raised $1.2 million so far this year and are 43% of the way through our annual campaign. You will see a flurry of activity the rest of this year. We will have our annual banner campaign, our annual yard sign campaign, and actively outreaching to all of our families, community members, and businesses here in San Marino. Our message this evening to our families, our ask this year is one of participation. The last 2 years, we have spent a lot of effort raising additional dollars through special campaigns to support the school district. This year, we want to return to our roots of participation. Supporting our school district is every family's business. It's every community member's business to ensure the integrity, the success, and the performance of our school district. And whether a family can afford $100 or many thousands of dollars, every single one of those donations is critical and important and valued. And so we really are going to be outreaching and activating every single family, and would ask for all of your support as we do that through the end of this year. Today, we have a very special do you want to bring out the check? So we will be making our school, our board of, for the foundation, our trustees in December approved the $2 million grant request for this year from the school district. So tonight we will be presenting you with our first distribution of $1.3 million towards that $2 million goal. And the rest of those funds will be presented to you later in this year. So we wanted to make the formal presentation of that donation to the school district on behalf of our Board of Trustees to you this evening. Tom Koch and Maurice Saldivar are with me this evening as well, representing our trustees. And so we would like to present this to you this evening. I also wanted to acknowledge Michelle Espenshade, who also was able to join us. And our last item of business here is a really, really special recognition. Over the course of the last 33 years, the San Marino Schools Foundation has had a unique and special partnership with the Chinese Club of San Marino. This evening, we have Vice President Chun Yen Chen and former President Maggie Lee with us, who we would like to invite to come forward. This very special organization has donated over $750,000 over the course of its relationship and partnership with the foundation, with the beneficiary being our students and schools. Last year, during the Measure E campaign, the Chinese Club came forward with a $200,000 donation, which was truly inspirational, incredible, and just such a gift. So we have a very special award that we would like to present to the Chinese Club for their support of our schools and our students. And we'd like to present this on behalf of every student here in San Marino, all of our teachers, our administrators, the school board, and the foundation, to thank you for all that you do for us here in San Marino. That is our update for you this evening. Thank you so much for having us.
Mrs. Salvato, would you like to come up here and take a picture with the
Sure,
honorees?
absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes,
Oh,
I
sure.
think we will. Okay, everyone. I think these are, we have so many valuable community partners, which is why I think, again, we are so special and so successful. So I believe that, organizations like the foundation and the Chinese Club, have been vital in donating their time, resources, energy, and intellect in helping us to continue to provide the absolute best programs and opportunities for students. We are very aware and acknowledge that it is because of all of these partners that we can and are able to continue to provide excellent programs and support to all our students in San Marino. At this time, I would like to turn it over to our superintendent, Dr. Delatorre, who I can say without a shadow of a doubt that we would not be where we are today with her outstanding efforts and leadership. Her cabinet, including Dr. Richter, Dr. Choi, all our fabulous principals and assistant principals, our exceptional teachers, and our wonderful classified staff. We are very grateful. And at this time, Dr. Linda Delatorre.
Thank you so much, President Jack, members of the Board of Education, student board member, executive team, and San Marino community. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce our amazing cabinet and school principals. Dr. Stephen Choi is the Chief Technology Officer and is also our Chief COVID Compliance Officer. That's a new position that we just had to create. And we're so grateful for his leadership and his intuition and expertise. He has absolutely done an amazing job really helping the school district stay above just everything when it comes to COVID compliance. And so we've really done a remarkable job, and it has a lot to do with his leadership. And of course, President Jack mentioned Mr. C. Joseph Chang earlier in helping us to organize clinics where we were able to get our employees vaccinated very early on. And also we were able to bring vaccination clinics here to our school sites for the benefit of our students. And now we're providing opportunities for our students and our employees to get booster shots. And so we're going to continue to do that. And thank you so much, Dr. Choi, for your leadership in that area. And of course, the technology that has been provided during the pandemic, especially when students weren't allowed to come onto campus for in-person learning. And we were able to pivot very, very quickly and much faster than most school districts around and most of the private schools around. We were able to go to online instruction, and you really helped lead that effort. So thank you so much. Then, of course, we have Dr. Lena Richter, who is, as my predecessor would say, an individual who is doing the work of 7 people in any other district around us. So Dr. Richter is our Executive Director of Educational Services. She is an expert in ed services and does a wonderful job for us. She's put together a very comprehensive professional development plan for our teachers, specialists, and classified staff. It is because of her leadership that we have been able to really engage our students in their learning variability due to the pandemic. She's been able to work with teachers to look for instructional curriculum and tools that we can use to really assess where kids are and address, meet them where they are and address their needs individually. And that has just been a tremendous help to all of us. And so, Dr. Richter, thank you so much for your leadership and your efforts. And I know you'll continue to do great things in this school district. These 2 individuals, my entire cabinet, and my predecessor again was saying that he has 4 assistant superintendents. I'll never know what that's like, but good for him. These individuals do the work of multiple people in other districts. As I mentioned earlier, they work really long hours. They're very, very dedicated to what is best for the students that we serve. Their work ethic is beyond reproach, and I just really value and appreciate them both. Additionally, I have our amazing principals here. They also work tirelessly to represent their schools. Not only do they each manage the operational needs of their school campuses, they also serve as the instructional leaders of each of their schools. And they work to mentor and coach our professional educators. They support them, they support the students. They're on the front lines of working with parents to make sure that all students have opportunities to succeed. So of course we have the amazing, wonderful Mr. Kurtenbach, principal of San Marino High School. And we have the fantastic, charismatic, and very entertaining Principal Daryl Topalian of Huntington Middle School. And we have this stately and kind, compassionate Alana Foray from Valentine Elementary School. And then we have the very talented and well-educated Dr. Michael Lynn of Carver Elementary School, who loves data, by the way, just absolutely loves data. So thank you to each one of you for your talents, your skills, your heart, your compassion, and always wanting to do what's best for kids. We appreciate you so much. Next slide, please. So every year, our team gets together and we try to come up with a theme that represents our goals, experiences, and hopes for the future. This summer, my team came up with Rise Together. RISE stands for respect, inspire, serve, and elevate. We discussed the importance of all stakeholders in San Marino, working together, respecting one another, inspiring each other, and lifting each other up. It is through these actions that we can get through the difficult times together and preserve the one thing that really matters the most, and that is our humanity. We strive as an educational team to live up to this theme every day. We believe firmly that attitudes and behaviors are contagious, and if we are positive and working hard to do the best and the right thing for kids, then we believe that that will inspire others to do the same. So we have used this logo that you see on the screen to brand a lot of our correspondence. We have it on a lot of our presentations, and we really do want to communicate the reality that this community, as President Jack said earlier, is unique. And we are unique and we are special because of our parents, our families, our community members, our students, our teachers, our classified staff, our administrators, and our principals, everyone working together. And we're all aligned in doing the right thing for kids. So that's our theme for this year. Next year, we'll try and come up with a better one, if possible. Okay, we can skip this slide. So we put together this district infographic just to show you visually what our schools are all about. We're a very small school district in Los Angeles County. As you all know, we have 4 schools. We have 2 elementary, 1 middle school, and 1 high school. Currently, we have 2,699 amazing, incredible, wonderful students. And all schools in San Marino have been designated as National Blue Ribbon schools and California Distinguished Schools, which is quite an honor to have every single school in the district have those 2 awards bestowed upon them at one point or another. Currently, Huntington Middle School is the only middle school in California to have received the National Blue Ribbon Award. We are so incredibly proud of Principal Topalian, Mr. Rob Miller, and his entire faculty and classified support staff for being able to accomplish this in a very, very difficult and challenging year. It's amazing, and I'm sure he's going to talk to you more about that when he presents himself. But I'd like to give him a round of applause. And we'll go to the next slide, please. So enrollment. I'm sure that you've all heard me talk about our declining enrollment in the past. And I feel that this graph really illustrates the current trend. And the current trend is not unique to San Marino Unified School District. Most districts in the state of California are in declining enrollment. And there are several reasons for that. First of all, the most important reason that our enrollment is declining, that we have absolutely no control over, is the fact that babies are not being born. So we have the lowest birth rate since the Great Depression right now. And there's really nothing that the district can do to, change that trend. So that's just something that we're going to have to live with. There's another reason. A lot of people are moving out of the state of California because of the cost of living. It is very, it's not very business friendly, high taxation, unaffordable housing. If you look at our community of San Marino, it is very, very expensive to move into San Marino, as you all know, and to be able to afford a single family residence. Other high performing districts in the area have condos, they have apartments, they have townhomes, they have other housing options for families to move into their district. So they may not be declining as quickly as we are in San Marino. There are also many vacant homes in San Marino that were purchased by investors, and they are not on the market to be either sold or leased. And therefore, that's inventory that is sitting there, not available for use, that could be occupied by young families with children that would attend our schools. I have not seen an increase in the number of students that are leaving us for private schools. We've always had students leave our district for private schools for one reason or another. But we are tracking now that data. So we will be able to analyze that data and really dig into the details as to how many parents are leaving our school district for private school because of religious reasons. How many are leaving our school district because the school is a legacy school. Their parents and grandparents attended that school. And how many are leaving because they're unhappy for one reason or another? And if they're unhappy, what's the reason? Give us those specifics so that we can really study that information just to make sure that we can always provide our very best efforts to retain our enrollment. So we're at a place right now where we know that we function best at 3,200 students, and we have 2,699. So we really need to work hard as a school district and as a community to stabilize and then grow our enrollment if at all possible. And there's lots of conversations that we're having as a leadership team to ensure that we come up with strategies, again, to retain and attract new families to San Marino schools. So we are taking that very seriously. And that is something that we're going to continue to work with the Board of Education on as we go forward. Next slide, please. So again, we're super proud of the fact that every school has been either a distinguished school and a National Blue Ribbon school. We have also been ranked by Niche and by the US World News as one of the top performing schools in California. We're very proud of that. As a matter of fact, we will have a news release going out very, very soon on Niche, ranking us again as one of the top performing schools in the area. Next slide. So now it is my pleasure to turn it over to Dr. Lena Richter to talk with you about students. Dr. Richter.
Thank you, Dr. Delatorre. Thank you, Dr. Delatorre, and thank you for your very complimentary words. As this slide shows, and as Dr. Delatorre alluded to earlier, in San Marino, we put students first. It is our commitment and our priority to place students at the forefront of our decision-making and at the center of every facet of district operations. We recognize the hard work it takes to promote the student success and to meet the divergent needs of all students. San Marino Unified has committed and remains committed to doing this work, to building programs, services, and instructional opportunities intended to support the academic, behavioral, and social emotional well-being of all students. San Marino truly believes that all students means all students. We strive to promote the boundless potential of every student and work tirelessly to best prepare them for college, career, and life by developing positive relationships, supporting students' foundational needs, cultivating inclusive learning environments, fostering opportunities for student agency, and instructional practices that support the varying needs of all learners. The unique needs of our students define the very work that we do each and every day to help every student effectively engage, navigate, and adapt to an ever-changing world. But most importantly, to help each student assume personal autonomy so that they can make a profound impact on their future. To do this, San Marino Unified has maintained and continues to maintain a laser-like commitment to exemplary teaching and learning. This commitment is operationalized through implementation of meaningful, relevant, robust professional development opportunities that directly support the academic, behavioral, and social emotional needs of all students. What's best for student has been and always should be at the forefront of everything we do here in San Marino. This is substantiated by our commitment and perseverance to seek out relevant research-based professional development opportunities specific to student, teacher, and staff needs to best cultivate learning environments where all students feel safe, feel that they belong, and have opportunities to learn. Our teachers are experts without a doubt and bring to the classroom exemplary teaching and learning. Ever-changing student needs call for ever-changing and innovative teaching and learning. As a district, we want to be sure that we are equipping our teachers and staff with the tools and resources necessary to meet the evolving needs of our students. Through intentional professional development opportunities, we continue to refine and escalate teacher expertise and student learning to best meet the varied needs of all of our learners. Let me go to the next slide, please. We are extremely proud of the work we have done in this arena. The work we are doing prioritizes and strengthens our board's priorities. This is evidenced through intentional professional development opportunities, including multi-tiered systems of support, which is a framework that allows students equitable access to robust education, where multiple measures are used to plan for prevention, intervention, and enrichment for all learners. San Marino Unified School District has partnered with the LA County Office of Education, receiving a 2-year grant focused on universal design for learning, a framework that allows flexible learning environments and opportunities that address and support learner variability by allowing students voice and choice in their learning. We are proud that all 4 of our schools are currently in year 1 of 2 with UDL, Universal Design for Learning. Beginning this year, our elementary schools have begun implementing the iReady assessment and instructional program. This program provides adaptive diagnostic assessments and individualized instructional pathways that best meets the needs of every learner. Our partnership with LA County Office of Education has allowed implementation of positive behavior interventions and support, also known as PBIS, to help promote school safety, behavioral expectations, and inclusive learning environments. Our elementary schools are currently in year 2 of 3 with PBIS, and we look forward to our secondary schools joining PBIS in the upcoming year. We also recognize the critical need to cultivate inclusive learning environments that best support the social, emotional, and academic needs of all of our students. Through intentional professional development opportunities focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion, trauma-informed practices, implicit bias, and gender spectrum, we continue to do this work to ensure that every student can achieve, feel safe, be healthy, and feel a genuine sense of belonging. San Marino Unified has strived to develop professional development opportunities and rigorous instructional programs that provide teachers, students, and staff comprehensive systems of support, which together create exemplary teaching and learning conditions. Our students, teachers, and staff have worked collaboratively through this process. We are extremely proud of the work that we have accomplished together and look forward to exploring and further expanding district programs and partnerships. Let me go to the next slide, please. As we look ahead, a few programs and opportunities the district is considering include a Spanish dual immersion pilot at one of our elementary schools. We're at the elementary level, expansion of our CTE courses and pathways, as well as an early college academy at the high school. These considerations are still in the initial stages of planning and require further research and exploration to ensure they are the right programs for our students' interests and our students' needs, and that they can be seamlessly integrated and complement current district programs. One of the ways in which we will be doing this is to survey our students and our parent communities to best identify the most relevant and meaningful CTE pathway options. And at this time, I would like to now introduce Dr. Stephen Choi to provide an update on technology.
Thank you, Dr. Richter. Good evening, board. And it's really a pleasure for me to share an update in regards to technology, because technology will continue to play an important role for the San Marino schools. Technology is often used as a catalyst to implement new initiatives, but in practice, technology tends to stick around, serving as a nexus to support critical processes in the areas of learning, teaching, collaboration, continuous improvement, and innovation. As the district's Chief Technology Officer, it is my honor to highlight 3 focus areas in technology this year. First, the district is in the process of upgrading its aging network infrastructure. Some key projects include replacing network switches, wireless access points, and mission-critical directory appliances. With thoughtful planning and coordination, the district leveraged multiple funding sources to make this happen. Specifically, the district combined competitive federal E-rate program discounts along with CARES Act funding, also known as one-time ESSER funds, to implement network upgrades of approximately $1 million. Installation of network equipment have already begun and will continue through as late as September as we navigate through the challenges of a global supply chain. I'm very excited about the prospects for when the network upgrades will be completed, as it would support more engaging digital experiences, more collaborative connections, and smarter integration of systems to best serve our students. The next area that I would like to highlight is also typically considered behind the scenes work. And unfortunately, with the recent rise in incidents occurring in K-12 schools, cybersecurity is now too often in the spotlight and is a high priority for us this year. Schools today are sadly prime targets for cyber criminals. The FBI warned that cyber actors view schools as targets of opportunity with ransomware attacks, data theft, and disruption of services. At San Marino schools, we take cybersecurity and the duty to safeguard our student and staff data very seriously. This year, we implemented 24/7 MDR and EDR cybersecurity services that monitor, detect, and respond to cyber attacks. We also performed routine vulnerability scans and implemented a cloud-based off-premise backup and disaster recovery solution. Along with these new tools, we also value educating our users with cybersecurity training. This year, we conducted cybersecurity simulations and phishing exercises while developing containment and remediation protocols to better secure and protect our users. Finally, the last technology area I want to highlight is something that is very visible. With one-time CARES funding, the district purchased new computing devices for staff and students this year. All faculty received new laptops to replace aging 5 to 8-year-old laptops. And in addition, all students in grades TK through 1 now have access to class sets of new iPads, and students in grades 2 through 5 receive class sets of new Chromebooks. I'm also very pleased to report that every Huntington Middle School student, as well as San Marino High School student, was issued a new Chromebook to take advantage of online resources available on and off campus. Providing our secondary students to reliable and powerful tools such as Google Workspace for Education and the Schoology Learning Management System will make a positive impact on student learning. While I can go on and on about technologies this year, I would like to shift and highlight the district's response and management of COVID. It's hard to believe that we first had to close our schools on Friday the 13th in March of 2020. That was 691 days ago. We are now more than 100 days into the current school year, and it is remarkable how many changes have come. Our district's COVID response truly demonstrates that anything is possible when we work together, especially when we are willing to pivot and change and pivot again, all while being very patient, but yet never losing sight of what's most important, which is to create safe in-person learning experiences for all our students and employees. Our district is extremely proud of the robust COVID testing programs we have in place. Our test programs are available to all SMUSD students, employees, and volunteers. We offer weekly on-campus PCR testing to help identify those that may have COVID but don't even know it. Our health and COVID support staff also administer rapid antigen tests to those that develop symptoms while they're on campus, and we'll get results in as little as 15 minutes. And in the past month, with generous support from the California Department of Public Health, as well as LACO, we were provided self-test kits, and we provided them to those that may have had exposure or suspect that they may be sick. This school year, our district has provided over 22,000 PCR rapid tests. I want to thank all our COVID testing partners, Chinatown Service Center, Two Trees Consulting, COVID Testing 24, and Omnipathology, who have been essential in helping us create a safe in-person experience. One of the most powerful tools available to combat COVID have been vaccines. As of January 25th, and based on a self-attestation survey, 96% of SMUSD employees, 87% of SMUSD students are fully vaccinated. Also, 82% of our elementary students are fully vaccinated. When vaccines were first made available in March of 2021, Board Member C. Joseph Chang helped secure vaccinations for all our employees in partnership with USC Keck. As soon as vaccines became eligible for younger age groups, SMUSD partnered with Albertsons to host several on-campus vaccine clinics to students ages 12 and up in May and June, and later to students ages 5 and up this past November and December. Along the way, the district also hosted a couple of booster clinics this past October and again in January. We received great appreciation and feedback that the online clinics were convenient and had brought ease to many families. Now, a key distinction in our district's response to COVID is the availability of dedicated COVID support staff. SMUSD took advantage of a $450,000 award from the CDC's ELC grant to cover COVID personnel, equipment and supplies, vaccination, outreach, and testing costs. I want to recognize SMUSD COVID Coordinator Asha Lee, COVID support staff Geraldine Damian, Lisa Heron, John Martinez, and Elizabeth Reuter for their tremendous work in testing, contact tracing, and for being such a valuable resource to our families, especially this year and especially through the recent Omicron surge. I also want to take this opportunity to highlight the magnitude of personal protective equipment, or PPE, our district has used this year. Our schools have used over 37,000 ounces of hand sanitizer, over 4,000 cloth masks, 56,000 three-ply surgical grade masks, 2,000 KN95 respirators, and 2,800 N95 respirators. The district has also installed over 200 air purifiers throughout various classrooms and indoor spaces. While some of this PPE was funded with one-time CARES funding, many were provided as donations from generous parents, community members, staff members, board members, local nonprofit organizations, as well as global businesses that cared about San Marino. We are forever grateful. Finally, I just want to conclude on this slide that our COVID journey is not quite over yet. There is a lot of hope as the metrics indicate that the worst of the Omicron surge has passed. I believe all of us are looking forward to the day when our students and staff will no longer have to mask indoors or outdoors, so we appreciate everyone's continued patience. We will continue to monitor closely and follow LA County public health protocols and guidance to ensure our students and employees are safe. With that, thank you for your continued support. I'd like to now turn it back over to Dr. Delatorre to talk about facilities.
Thank you so much, Dr. Choi. I appreciate all of your hard work in the area of managing our COVID pandemic, and you have done an amazing job. Wanted to talk with the board just a little bit about facilities. Not only do we want to ensure that we are providing a safe and healthy learning environment, we want to make sure that we are training all of our employees to be able to do just that. So with respect to our facilities, one of the things that we did early on in the year was to take our leadership team and provide them with outstanding training in threat assessment, which was provided by a Harvard-trained forensic psychologist by the name of Dr. Tony Belize. And he is very renowned and well-known for his expertise in preventing school violence. And he has just been a very strong leader in providing the training to not only school districts, but to law enforcement agencies. And I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge the fact that we have had such tremendous support and what a great partnership we've had with the San Marino Police Department and the San Marino Fire Department. We have Chief Rueda here from the Fire Department and Chief Enconcho here from the Police Department. And these distinguished professionals have been very active in participating in our safety trainings. They show up when we have safety meetings with our stakeholders, school principals, and PTA representatives. They have been just amazing in making sure that we are all on board with the plan that we have in place to make sure that our children are safe, all of them, in the event that we have any threats to their safety. Additionally, Rotary was so kind and generous. They donated monies to the school district so that we could purchase the Raptor system. And the Raptor system has been installed at all 4 schools. And so now visitors to our campuses have to show their California ID or driver's license, which is scanned. And this system will do a background check to make sure that we are not allowing access to our campuses to anyone who has a questionable background. We want to make sure that our kids are safe and healthy. And that is one tool, along with many others, that helps to keep our kids safe. So we're very grateful to Rotary, and Mr. Dennis Neer presented us with that check. So thank you. We appreciate you and your generosity. In addition to that, in terms of facility upgrades, we have Mr. Gil Cardenas, who has really stepped up during this challenging time. There's a lot more cleaning and deep cleaning and sanitization that's going on in our classrooms. He and his team have been doing just a wonderful job. He had to train all of his guys to manage the way that they clean classrooms in a very different way. There's a lot of extra steps now that are having to be taken in order to do that. He has been engaged in some general painting projects at the schools. But again, the focus and the shift in work responsibilities has really gone to the side of making sure that classrooms and offices are safe spaces, super clean, sanitized, et cetera. So a lot of extra time has been spent on that. I wanted to mention that we have received COVID funds. Dr. Choi touched on this, to upgrade our technology infrastructure, but also to upgrade our HVAC systems. And so the money that we received is going to go to Huntington and Valentine. We're going to be replacing the HVAC systems at both of these schools in order to improve the air quality for our teachers and for our students. And so when we're asked, what are we doing with the one-time monies? Those are 2 really big projects. And we have spent $1.3 million on upgrading our technology infrastructure. And we're going to spend about that on the HVAC upgrade as well. We are hoping to be able to upgrade Carver and the high school as soon as possible. But Mr. Cardenas has informed me that they have done some general maintenance on those systems as well. And those systems are newer than the Huntington Middle School and the Valentine HVAC system. So that's why we're starting there. So there's been a lot of work that has gone on. In addition to that, we have the Barth Athletics Complex, which construction was actually completed in 2019, December, I believe. And there have been some residual, just small things that we're dealing with at the Barth Athletics Complex. It's a wonderful facility. Huntington Middle School waited a very long time to be able to have a true gym for the school where we can host other teams to come and play our Huntington Middle School teams. We never had that before, and so it is a really wonderful space. We have wrestling on the top floor. It could provide additional revenue opportunities for the district going forward if we were to lease some of the space out to groups that can come in and utilize the space responsibly. So we're hoping to be able to maybe have some conversations with the city and other groups on that. Speaking of the Barth Athletics Complex, I think everyone knows that the plan back then, when we first built the Barth Athletics Complex, was to collect donations from private donors in order to build the facility. And we did just that. We had a significant number of private donors that did give their money for the facility. And due to the escalating cost of construction over time, as the facility was being built, the cost kept going up. And so we did use $2 million from the district's reserves to help offset the cost. And then it was ultimately decided that we were going to borrow $6 million, $6.3 million actually, to finish the project through a product called Certificate of Participation, which you'll later hear me refer to as the COP. So we borrowed that money and we were able to complete the project, and the facility is amazing and wonderful, and it is being utilized and will continue to be utilized by the Huntington Middle School students. And they're really enjoying that space. But we need to, continue to work with the Board of Education to determine whether or not we're going to look at our reserves to pay off the principal of the Barth Athletics Complex, or possibly go out for another bond. Because the original plan was we're gonna do this, we're gonna go out for a bond, pay off the Barth, and everything will be wonderful. And as you recall, in 2019, we went out with Measure S, and Measure S did not pass. So that's a conversation we are going to have in the next year or two, or not. Maybe we just look at some kind of long-term plan to pay that principal down, because the term is through 2041, and so it's about $500,000 a year that the district has to come up with. And the board was so wise in committing 3 years worth of COP payments to a reserve account, so that for at least the next 3 years, we do have that money set aside in our budget to be able to manage that. So that was really smart on their part. So that's all I have to say on that slide. And now I would love to turn it over to Mrs. Pearl Azuka. She is our business services consultant. Pearl.
Hi, good evening. Well, I would like to start off to start talking about district funding. And this school district funding is a little bit of a complicated way, or complicated story in terms of how schools are funded. And it starts with the local control funding formula, which is the basis of the majority of the funding for a school district. It represents about 75% of the money that we need to use to operate this entire system and provide the excellent educational program here at San Marino. There are some building blocks, though, we add to the base funding. So we get a base funding where everybody in California, every single student gets that same base amount. And to that, we add a grade span adjustment. They understand that to have smaller class sizes in kindergarten through 3, it costs more. So for those grades, we get an extra bump of 10.4%. And then for grades 9 through 12, certain classes are a lower class size, so we get an adjustment there. We add on that. To the base, then, we get a COLA, a cost of living increase, that has to take care of the total operations of the district. And so next year, their projection, because of the robust economy of California, and we'll talk about the state part of that in just a moment, is 5.33% for next year. This year, it's 5.01. Then there's a separation from school districts based on the number of unduplicated students that are in your demographics. So if you have a high English learner, or you have students that are eligible for free meals, or have a large number of foster youth, you get extra dollars above and beyond that. And then if you have certain higher percentages, you get more. So, so we do get some supplemental monies. There's concentration grants, but we do not get any of those dollars. So when we look at all of that, that becomes how the basis of the formula works. On the next slide, it's a little bit hard to read, but this shows the amount of base grant for this year. First, to start off with, so every student in California gets this base grant amount. And then next year, we're going to add a COLA to that. And then you'll see the new base that will become next year. And then for grades K through 3 and 9 through 12, we add that adjustment that I mentioned so that you now have an adjusted base rate of those dollars that are there. And if you have supplemental students, which we do have some, we add another amount to that. So what makes it a particular challenge for San Marino is that in order to provide the excellent program that we're wanting to give, we are basically working with the base grant amount, and we are not able to get funded exactly for what it costs to provide this program. And we'll talk about some of the ways that we were able to provide that in just a moment. The next slide, this is just a sneak peek that I just wanted to share that when we changed from the revenue limit formula, which and then went into the local control funding formula system, the agreement was that the local entity had flexibility in the dollars that they receive, although we're seeing less and less of that based on next year's budget. However, part of the agreement was that we would disclose to our community by stakeholder input how we're spending those dollars. So at the February 22nd board meeting, Dr. Richter will be presenting an LCAP update, and LCAP stands for the Local Control Accountability Plan. Will be a mid-year report, and we'll actually be discussing how those dollars are being used. But that's just a sneak peek of what that report's going to look like. So this is for parents to share how we're spending the local control funding formula and the dollars that are associated with it. Next slide, please. So a lot of times people have been asking, why aren't we a basic aid district? And basic aid meaning that we rely totally on our property taxes and not rely on state. And the way it works is on the left side there is the property taxes that we receive, and that becomes the base for the amount you're going to get. And then we layer that with state aid for the difference. So for example, if you had, your formula was you're gonna get $100 million and you got 50 million in property tax, the state would backfill the other 50 in order for you to be whole. And that formula is derived by that base grant amounts that I mentioned times your average daily attendance, okay? Basic aid districts, what happens with them is they get that same calculation, but they're able to get all of their funding through property taxes. And so whatever they get above and beyond that, they get to keep. And so if, so for example, in San Marino, we get 15.3 million in property taxes based on our assessed valuation. And those are assessed and paid in December and April. And if we were to become basic aid, we would need 26 million. So what would happen is that we would need obviously to have more assessed valuation on our homes. Now I am understanding, and Dr. Delatorre can probably share more of the history of this, but a lot of the homes are valued from 1960s to 1970s because there's been a lot of turnover. So the assessed taxes on those homes are not what they truly are valued in today's dollars. If they were turned over and sold, then we would obviously have more taxes. But that's the reason why San Marino is not a basic aid district. And we're not, unfortunately, very close to that at this point. And lastly, as I mentioned, this is a pie chart that shows that 75% of our funding comes from the combination of property tax and state aid. But we are very unusual and very, very fortunate to have the support of both the foundation and the parcel tax and other donations, that 25% of our dollars come from these different sources. And I would say that we probably are one of the very few districts in the state that get that kind of support and contributions to provide the excellent program that we have here at San Marino. So with that, I will turn it back to you, Dr. Delatorre.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Azuka. We appreciate your professionalism and expertise. So as Mrs. Azuka was saying, over the years, approximately anywhere from 25% to 30% of our revenues comes from local sources, such as the San Marino Schools Foundation, the 2 parcel taxes, and PTA donations. We are very unique. I think in the words of Vice President Chan, we're a unicorn, and very, very unique from many districts around in that we don't have a high number of unduplicated count students. So the monies that we receive from the state are not sufficient to provide the level of education that we are currently providing to our students. So if you took out that 25 to 30% of our revenues, we would not be the same school district that we are today. So we are so grateful and just so appreciative of our schools foundation and the work that they do, and the fact that our community supports the parcel taxes. Just to give you a sense of what the parcel tax pays for, Measure E, which generates about $4.1 million, pays for 2 counselors, 4 elementary teachers, 7.2 middle school teachers, 17.2 high school teachers, and 3 technology positions. If you look at what Measure R pays for, it generates about $1.6 million. It pays for 1 high school counselor, 2 elementary school teachers, 4 middle school teachers, 4 high school teachers, and 2 technology positions, and 1 network analyst position. If you were to take away the parcel taxes and the schools foundation revenue, we would have to lay off 41% of all of our certificated staff. 41%. That is it's a huge number. And that is what makes San Marino so different than other school districts. Most other school districts, all of their staff are 100% funded by state revenues. Not the case in San Marino. So again, we're grateful, thankful, appreciative, and we cannot afford on any level to lose any one of those revenue sources. And now, I have to say that one of our administrative goals, which is tied to developing a long-term fiscal stabilization plan for the district, and a way that we can, a pathway that we can increase or at least stabilize our enrollment, is to elevate the district's profile. And one way to do this is through marketing, including school anthem videos. So at this time, we'd like to share with you a sneak preview of the Cale Carver elementary school Shine video that will be used for promotional purposes. And while we would love to be able to share all 4 videos with you, they're still in production. And so we won't be ready to release all 4 for about the next 4 weeks, but we're super excited about this project. I have to give my thanks and praise to Dr. Lunar, who's been instrumental in coordinating the effort to roll these videos out. Our principals have just been wonderful in making sure that the production goes very seamlessly. And so with that, if you would play the video, Dr. Choi.
My favorite part about going to school here would probably be mystery science. I like going to school because it helps me learn. I like seeing everyone smile and being kind to me here.
My favorite part about going to school, other than doing recess, is learning, like STEM and math and language arts.
There's a lot of new teachers you can meet that's nice. We have a great principal and friends to play with. Everyone should know that Carver doesn't just help you learn, but it makes you leaders. When I grow up, I definitely want to be an engineer. I especially want to test out airplanes and rockets.
I want to be an animal researcher when I grow up.
I want to be a professional gymnast. I want to be a great cello player. One of my favorite facts was that I've learned that there's no sound in space. A kelp can grow like 2 feet in 1 day. Also, the fastest baseball pitch is up in space. I like playing with my friends on the playground, especially the jump ropes. I like reading. I've been learning about shapes and grammar. Carver is the best school to attend because the teachers make learning a lot of fun. Also, I can tell the teachers really love us. You don't have to feel nervous because I started out nervous, but I still made more friends. Welcome to Carver. You're gonna have an awesome time.
So watching that makes my heart happy. I just love to see, these kids talking about their school and really enjoying their experience and praising their teachers and their principal and talking about what they've learned and what makes them happy. And that's what it's really all about. And it's just so wonderful that we're creating these videos that we're going to be able to push out to people and hopefully attract more families to our wonderful school district. So at this time, I would like to turn it over to the Carver Elementary School principal, Dr. Michael Lynn.
Thank you, Dr. Delatorre. Wow, that's going to be a tough act to follow. The kids are so photogenic, and I absolutely agree with you that that video made my heart sing watching the kids. Good evening, and thank you to the governing board, Superintendent Dr. Delatorre, the executive team, and student board member for the opportunity for me to share a few things about Carver School. I would like to start by expressing my appreciation to the principal of Valentine School, Mrs. Foray, for her wisdom and partnership throughout this year. We have all been in uncharted territories this year, and I'm grateful for the collaboration and mutual supports that Carver has with Valentine every step of the way. For example, both Carver and Valentine have worked diligently to create partnerships and instructional schedules with Encore Music and the Armory Center for the Arts to deliver high quality, consistent art and music programs at both elementary schools. We share the same challenges and the same joys in having our students attending school in person. We have a great appreciation for the dedication and professionalism of our teachers and staff and the generosity and kindness of our families. At Carver School, in addition to academic rigor, we offer a strong character education program that teaches students to basically be kind and empathetic. We focus on students being trustworthy, respectful, responsible, fair, caring, and being good citizens. We catch kids when they do the right things and reinforce good behaviors. As you can see, the collage of photos, the social emotional well-being of our students and staff takes center stage. Carver School is a fun and safe place for our students. Thanks to Dr. Richter, we have a wealth of professional development trainings on UDL, PBIS, iReady. Our teachers and staff are true champions and have gone above and beyond in addressing learning regression and learning gaps. We have been using one-time funds to create homework clubs to help students who need that extra help. Also at Carver School, there's no shortage of celebrations. Let it be student treasure hunting and finding gems on the playground, or students earning Carver Cools, or classes winning the Golden Shoe Award every week. It is heartwarming to involve our students in celebrations because students are worth celebrating. It is wonderful celebrating Miss McGee as our Carver Schools Teacher of the Year, and Mrs. Azaguida as our Classified Employee of the Year. It is also a great joy to see kids and staff feel connected in the Red Ribbon Week activities, the Halloween parade, Thanksgiving activities, the winter sing-along for TK through third grade, the 100th day of school celebration, the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Remembrance activities, and more recently, the Lunar New Year activities last Friday. In short, I have full confidence that because we have such loving and supportive families and such outstanding teachers and staff, when this pandemic is finally over, our students will be just fine. The state of Carver School is strong, and our kids are in good hands. Thank you, and I would like to yield the balance of my time to the other outstanding principals.
Next, we have Mrs. Alana Foray, Principal of Valentine Elementary School.
President Jack, members of the board, student board member, Dr. De La Torre, our illustrious superintendent and cabinet, it is an honor to speak to you tonight on the state of Valentine. Valentine is a school of 626 scholars, athletes, artists, and musicians, guided by 28 exceptional teachers and 29 dedicated staff members. At Valentine, students' learning experiences take place inside and outside the classroom. We want students to discover who they are through opportunities to develop interests, skills, capacity, and talent. Our students are taught to be helpful, empathetic, accepting, respectful, trustworthy citizens at Valentine. I'd like to highlight 3 critical programs that we have for social and emotional health. The most effective program for social and emotional well-being for elementary students is spelled with 6 letters, RECESS. Play is children's work. During play, children stretch their imaginations. They create make-believe games and get lost in pretend worlds. They make their own rules and learn how to follow or adapt those rules as needed. Unstructured play helps build and strengthen the prefrontal cortex of the brain. This area influences the way a child learns, solves problems, and gains knowledge throughout their environment. Frequent daily play can help reduce anxiety, stress, and irritability. It also helps boost joy and self-esteem. In addition to unstructured play, Valentine students get explicit instruction in emotional self-regulation and conflict resolution through second-step lessons delivered by our gifted school counselor, Mrs. Stacy Beavers. Parents receive lesson summaries so they can reinforce social emotional skills at home. But that's not all. Physical education significantly contributes to students' well-being. Therefore, it is an instructional priority for California schools and an integral part of our students' educational experience. High-quality physical education instruction from Miss Laura Pollard and Coach Wes Gonzalez contributes to good health, develops fundamental and advanced motor skills, improves student self-confidence, and provides opportunities for increased levels of physical fitness that are associated with high academic achievement. The 4 C's of critical thinking, creativity, communication, and collaboration are the pillars of our standards-based content instruction. Our experienced, high-quality teachers create opportunities for students to be independent learners, build strong content knowledge, to comprehend as well as critique, to value evidence, to use technology capably and strategically, and understand other perspectives and cultures. Our teachers care about their students.
They create safe, nurturing learning environments. I'm honored to work shoulder to shoulder with such talented, dedicated group of educators. We are a cohesive team, and we have great school pride. Our students take pride in their school and love to demonstrate HEART, an acronym that reminds students of school-wide behavior expectations, no matter where they are on campus. They make morning announcements to inspire their classmates to high levels of citizenship and service. They take initiative to keep the campus clean and honor those who serve them. Recently, fifth grade students gave spontaneous standing ovations to our noon supervisors. They love and respect our day custodian, Mr. Alberto Ariano. Along these lines, student leaders recently planned a week of random acts of kindness with the support of Ms. Pollard. We've seen our students excel in First Lego League, winning championships and innovation awards. Due to the pandemic, we are not going on field trips, but we are bringing special programs to school virtually or in person. Students have enjoyed guest presenters like the Harlem Globetrotters, History Comes Alive, and the Griffith Observatory. The Valentine PTA, led by our fabulous president, Aaron Cloherty, and our energetic executive board, is a proud supporter of our students, teachers, and staff. The PTA plans annual fundraisers like the Fall Fair, the Parent Party, and the Jogathon to support arts education programs like Armory Art and Encore Music. Professional artists and musicians deliver superior content instruction to all our students. In addition, fifth graders have the opportunity to participate in band and orchestra, two programs that lead into VAPA programs at the secondary level. The Titan Marching Band performed for our students in the fall. Our students were awestruck and inspired. Our PTA demonstrates a passionate commitment to the arts through their generous giving each year. The PTA also funds our library media specialist, our health clerk, and 2 noon supervisor positions. Valentine parents are incredibly generous with their time and resources. If you were to visit our campus today, you would see red lanterns swinging in the halls, balloons festooning our entrance, and vibrant signs to usher in the Year of the Tiger. Just this last weekend, our garden angels helped to restore and renew 6 garden boxes for our students to enjoy. The Kang and McCarthy families spearheaded this effort. It's one example of the love and dedication our families shower on our school. Our parents know what an investment in Valentine means, helping their children enjoy a rich educational experience at school. With 76 days left in our school year, we look forward to a Lunar New Year assembly, a parent party, an engineering fair, open house, May Day, a jogathon, the hat parade, and hopefully, maybe, no masks. Go Vikings.
Up next, we have Mr. Daryl Topolian, principal of Henry E. Huntington Middle School.
Board President Nam Jack, members of the Board of Education, student board member, Superintendent Dr. Linda Delatorre, district executive team, site principals, Mr. Jason Kurtenbach, Ms. Alana Frey, Dr. Michael Lynn, teachers and staff of Huntington Middle School, and the SMD school community. Good evening and happy Lunar New Year. The Year of the Tiger, one of growth and recovery. At this time, I'd like to take a moment to share with you the courses, activities, clubs, hangouts, and opportunities that make HMS one of the greatest schools on the face of this earth. As you look at these 14 images on the slide, they're only a small breath of the glimpse of what really happens daily on the HMS campus. Now you look in the center and you see that seal. Yes, back in November of 2021, Henry E. Henry Middle School was awarded the prestigious honor as the only middle school in the state of California to be named the National Blue Ribbon School. This goes without recognizing the great work that is happening at Valentine at Carver to set a solid foundation for our young people as they come to Huntington. But I cannot take ownership for all of this. This is under the direction of leadership of Alana Foray and Mr. Jason Kurtenbach, who are former principals of Huntington Middle School, on a 5-year study that overlooked Huntington Middle School to receive this award. So thank you in recognition to both Ms. Alana Foray and Mr. Jason Kurtenbach. 325 schools received a National Blue Ribbon School in 2021. More than 132,000 elementary and secondary schools are in the United States of America. 302 of those are public, 23 private, and 45 middle schools, and we, HMS, being the only middle school in the state of California to receive that award. This goes, yes. Now, I've recognized some individuals as administrators, and especially the educators at Carver and Valentine. But this recognition really goes to the hardworking teachers and staff at Huntington Middle School. They have demonstrated their dedication to students and the tradition of excellence, not only to themselves as committed educators, but to their students. HMS will not just rest on being an award-winning school. No, we will not rest on that. But most importantly, we will model for other schools who are still striving for that academic excellence in math, in English, in science, and in social studies, while bringing the highest level to the visual performing arts, to our athletics, and to our other school organizations. Currently now at Huntington Middle School, we have over 620 students who attend daily, approximately 200 students at each grade level. Do you know that over 15 elective offerings are in the visual performing arts, making over 2/3 of our school population? We have course offerings in coding and in Spanish, and the highest level of courses are taught on campus for student achievement. Those high school levels are algebra courses, our honors algebra courses, and our Spanish courses. Our amazing staff is involved in 15 honors courses, and our students are thriving in those courses, in English and in math. There's elective opportunities for our students to strive as well with an award-winning and well-recognized visual performing arts program. We'll put a plug in for March 17th, 18th, and 19th. Music Man will be performed right here by our young people. We have our performing arts department under the direction of Derek Jameson, Mr. Folsom, and Ms. Katie Simpson, who is out on maternity leave, but Mr. Jake Ferntile is filling in. We have our Chorus Avance. We have Choir Concante and our advanced choir Bel Canto. The Spartan Band, the Varsity Band, the Wind Ensemble fill our halls and our cafeteria with sound, some pleasant and some with squeaky reeds. The visual arts consists of our 7th and 8th graders and done a great direction under Ms. Macedo, and the art intro classes for our grade 6 students. And a fabulous job to our 6th grade team doing middle schools for success, as well as art intro with Ms. Macedo, and then to the PE classes which they attend. Our students are also thriving in yearbook, and as I've shared with you, preparing for the spring musical. From a social and emotional learning standpoint, Ms. June Gonzalez, our school counselor, is doing a great job with the Fox Wellness Lounge, which we hope to show all of you soon at our showcase. That is available for students and parents and our staff by referral. With our student connectedness, where everybody belongs, with our web program, Safe School Ambassadors that we have, the Fox Wellness Lounge for our students who have a need, with our interns that are there to help them and guide them daily. And our great thing that is started by our activities director, Ms. Kelly Keto, with our student hangouts. And now we also celebrate our school citizenship with our students, who we celebrate in areas of respect, responsibility, integrity, honesty, perseverance, and kindness. And I'm just going to take a moment to share just candidly the great students that we have here at this school. There's a 7th grader named Nathan Chan, who yesterday on our campus found a wallet. He comes up to me at lunchtime, Mr. Sapali, and I found a wallet, it has money in it. I said, well, do you find a name in it? He said, there's no name. And I look over there off to the side where he found it. There's a boy frantically looking for his wallet. $76. Now, what a middle schooler is doing with $76, I do not know. I know how much I had in my wallet. But just the honor, just right there, the integrity of a 7th grade student to bring a wallet up to your middle school principal. That says something about the quality of our young people. Yes, we're a National Blue Ribbon school, but I challenge my students to be National Blue Ribbon in their character. So that says something about Nathan Chan. Lucky boy Andrew who got his wallet. We also have been coming up the Career Day, February 17th, where some of you will be participating in under the direction of June Gonzalez, who will be sharing that with our students. That's just part of being connected in the wellness of our young people. And also under the direction of Dr. Linda Richter for our UDL training. Thank you for our staff who are being able to address and facilitate the needs for all students. In the areas of academic support, we have wonderful teachers who are reaching out and opening their classrooms at lunch and in the afternoons in the areas of math, English, and now science. And this is all based on our student needs and seeing that the need our students are coming back with, but our teachers are opening their classroom doors at lunchtime and after school. Our activities led by Ms. Kelly Keto, our amazing athletic director and activities director. We have ASB, Student Government, Jesus for Life, Chess Club, a Science Olympiad, who are award-winning, who are doing amazing at their invitationals, our speech and debate team, doing amazing under the direction of Mr. Miller, our mock trial team with Summer Cervantes, doing an amazing job in their competitions and winning competitions. Our math team is doing great, and our robotics team. And our hangouts are where our teachers are just opening their classrooms at lunch. We have the Art Foxes. We have Goods Games with Mr. Good. We have the Fox Peace Garden. We have Tuesdays Gamers, and we have the Fantasy Sports. All available to our students to feel connected to this school. We have our amazing athletic program with our travel teams and our murals from flag football, across country to volleyball, basketball, track and field, tennis, wrestling, and cheerleading. And when all this happens, so many amazing things are behind the scene with our amazing PTA led by Jacqueline Chung, our PTA president, who support and are resourceful for all of us. They're amazing association, the executive team. They plan and they do events. We have the coming Fox games on March 11th, which I hope many of you have seen our promo video on our website, and then our parent party on March 11th to follow. They support our teachers with resources, more importantly, food to feel loved and valued. Now, after sharing all the fabric of life of MHA's campus and looking at our 14 images, my hope is that the San Marino community understands and embraces the value of an SMUSD education at Henry E. Huntington Middle School. Middle school is challenging, even at an age of 11 and 12 and 13, and through the pandemic. All the teachers and staff at HMS want each and every student to be valued and an active learner, but right now, be healthy. I have challenged my staff, I have challenged the students to combat COVID. C, combat. O, Omicron. V, valiantly into defeat, COVID, and think of 19 ways that you can do that. And I'm proud to say today, again, we had 0 cases. C, HMS is here to strive for excellence, build and direct our young people in their character, and expand opportunities for students to apply their depth of knowledge in various capacities beyond the classrooms. In conclusion, I invite all of you to the HMS Showcase this February 24th, beginning at 6 p.m. And for our 5th grade families, we're going to be incoming 6th graders at 5 p.m. in the Barth Athletic Center. Thank you for your time. Now, Mr. Jason Kurtenbach.
Good evening. Let me start by thanking these 3 wonderful people out here who, with their staffs, have planted many great seeds that are blossoming over at San Marino High School. Thank you, President Jack, members of the Board of Education, Superintendent De La Torre, and the executive team for the opportunity to provide you with some insight, as to the state of San Marino High School. Along with everybody, we've been weathering the storm of this global pandemic, but we've done so by pulling together and by working harder than we ever have. My staff regularly gives up their prep periods to substitute for each other when they're out for illness or out to take care of a sick child or a loved one. They then do lessons, grading, and other classroom preparations throughout the evening in order to maintain the rigor and relevance for our student body in preparation for their post-secondary lives. Throughout all of this, they've practiced grace and understanding that students are being required to stay home for days, sometimes weeks, due to COVID. They've reduced or completely forgiven assignments, provided opportunities for test retakes, and extended due dates far into the future. Our students have done amazing jobs amid expectations that I doubt many of us could have shouldered at their age. They've remained flexible and yet consistent, doing her homework as she's trying to listen, Very good. Keep that up. We've had to postpone many competitions and matches, games, etc., and our students have simply gone with the flow. They've maintained as strong attendance as possible, given rules requiring them to stay home or be pulled out of class to test day after day. Despite all of this, we've seen amazing success from them. Let me provide you with some data to show you how amazing we have been during a time of great stress these last 2 years. We've increased our course offerings, adding AP and honors courses, as well as increasing enrollment in those courses. We now offer 17 AP courses. That's one shy of Arcadia. Next year, we will be ahead of them. Our ratio is now more than 1-to-1, which far exceeds the national average for schools similar to ours. 87% of our students who took an AP exam last year scored a 3 or better during the height of the pandemic. We improved in our niche ranking to number 13 in the country for all comprehensive public high schools. Our dual enrollment courses through PCC, which only began this year, have seen an increase going from 2 courses with about 32 students in semester 1 to 3 courses with about 52 students in semester 2. Through the pandemic, our students have remained focused academically, averaging a 1358 on their SAT, a 30.2 on their ACT. They received over 101 offers to the University of California campuses, with 40 students choosing to go. Our students also received 15 offers to select colleges and universities such as Yale, Harvard, MIT, with 13 accepting and attending. Our counseling department has not only increased their individual meetings with every single student, but has added to that meeting with each individual 8th grade student and begun doing social emotional learning and college prep lessons throughout the months in our homeroom period. They've also begun to provide multi-tiered systems of support for any student in danger of failing any course, credit deficient due to COVID, or the state mandated independent study, the district approved short-term independent study, and social emotional support, both through our counseling office and the Wellness Center. The Wellness Center has averaged 1 threat assessment per week, which most people would say is awful, and I say that is a win. We are encouraging our students, and we are seeing our students seek us out for the support that they need on a regular basis. We have parents contacting us and teachers noticing things that they may not have noticed before, and they now have the resource to go to get students the help that they need. Our staff has increased their support of students as well, offering after-school academic support classes in all areas of need, including foreign language, science, English, and math. We've applied for the state of California A through G grant, and with it, we will be able to host more summer classes for remediation, given the need created due to the pandemic. We're going to partner with PT affiliates to offer courses to help our students get ahead as well. Despite all of these challenges, we've celebrated our CIF Girls Championship tennis team. And tonight I just found out that brother and sister Cassie and Ryan Arrington just took first place in the Rio Hondo League Championships in wrestling.
Very nice.
Our homecoming, our hoop coming, and soon our winter formal will go off without a hitch. We hosted our first ever showcase wherein we celebrated and highlighted the many, many, many things which make HMS so special. 32 clubs, 27 sports, and a host of other opportunities not seen at most schools. From that, we've just begun hosting campus tours, with our first happening just a week ago, having over 20 families attend, considering SMHS as a school of choice next year. Our enrollment has increased from the start of the school year as well. Only 2 students, but we're going in the right direction. It's progress in a positive way. We're working with Huntington Middle School to have our first Move Up Day on March 30th, where SMHS clubs and performing groups will take over HMS and show the upcoming 9th grade students how to make the most out of their experience at San Marino High School. We are a community of support for each other. Our students, our parents, and our staff work together to make our school run, and no one on our staff could do what they do without the other. Thank you.
Thank you so much to all of our amazing principals. I have to say that this is a very challenging time, and the reason that we have been able to do as well as we have is definitely in part to their leadership, their courage, their strength of conviction. And all 4 of them have not only been the leader of their schools, but they've been in the classroom substitute teaching. And so talk about hands-on and really rolling up their sleeves and getting in the trenches and doing what they need to do to keep their schools running. And that's just remarkable. And I'm so grateful for all 4 of them. So thank you so much. Now I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Choi.
Thank you, Dr. Delatorre. With so many amazing activities, you may be wondering, how can I keep in touch with our schools and not miss a thing? One of the easiest ways is to visit our school and district websites. This year, we launched redesigned websites in September of 2021. The new websites offer impactful visuals that are fully compatible with mobile devices and provides full language translation. In addition, our electronic newsletters will continue to offer a wealth of information. Please be sure to sign up to receive them on our websites under newsletters. Furthermore, the district utilizes text messaging to alert parents, students, and staff, as well as the community, for timely notifications. The district also continues to offer the SMUSD mobile app, which is available through the App Store and the Google Play Store. The SMUSD mobile app conveniently provides students and parents a personalized, integrated, and multilingual experience to stay on top of school and district news, notifications, calendar events, student attendance, grades, and more. And lastly, another great way to stay informed of what is happening throughout the district is to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And of course, as many of you are also joining us virtually today, the district will continue to use Zoom meetings and webinars to live stream various events. Visit any of our websites to follow and join these engaging media platforms. I'd like to now pass it back to Dr. Delatorre.
Thank you, Dr. Choi. So this evening, all that we have discussed and highlighted and emphasized ties back to the 4 major board goals that were developed this summer. The work that has been done at the elementary school with the second step curriculum, recess, as Principal Foray mentioned, along with the wellness centers at both San Marino High School and Huntington Middle School, address the social and emotional well-being of all of our students. The adoption and implementation of iReady, which addresses the learning regression and variability caused by the pandemic, is being effectively addressed through Dr. Richter's work in terms of putting the committees together, selecting the programs, and making it all come together seamlessly. So thank you, Dr. Richter, for that. In addition to that, we have comprehensive professional development that has been implemented this year that is supporting our teachers and classified staff. And then we have the fact that the Board of Education was really committed to setting aside monies in a reserve to address the long-term fiscal stabilization needs of our school district is really critical. And that ties back to their board goal number 4 in terms of not just planning for this year, but looking to the future to support our students and really being forward thinking there. As superintendent, I am very, very proud of the work that has been done by our Board of Education, our cabinet members, principals, assistant principals, directors, teachers, and classified employees. I'm also especially grateful for the support of our dedicated and talented families and community members. We have the most amazing PTA council and PTA district-wide that any district could ever ask for, and I'm so grateful for every single one of them. It is only with the dedication and support of all stakeholders coming together to serve the best interests of our students' academic and social emotional needs that we can truly rise together to meet the challenges of today in preparation for tomorrow. The state of the district is strong. And it's strong due to our outstanding school board and their leadership. It's due to our leadership team, our teachers, our parents, students, and community members. It is because of all of you that we are great, that this school district comes together to make things happen for our kids. And with that, I thank you. And I would like to play the video for the high school.
The great part about San Marino High School is every day is different. Today, it's a big robotics thing. Tomorrow, it's something amazing with the speech program, or we'll have a new theater production going on, or getting ready for the homecoming parade. It's just super exciting to be able to do things like that.
The school offers a lot of academic related activities such as like debate or like robotics. Debate is a big after school activity here offered on campus. It's an educational opportunity to learn about the real world and about topics that you don't necessarily discuss in your academic classes.
The community supports the school in a way that no other community I've ever been in can support their high school. They know that an investment in us is an investment in their kids. We need everybody to pull together, and that's what makes us uniquely strong, and that's how we get such great output from our students. We really are the It Takes a Village community, and we live that every single day.
I would just say like the overall community of San Marino is just like everything's so connected. My favorite part about going to school here is probably just like the teaching staff. I feel like they're very like engaged and they really like want their students to learn.
The reason that a kid should come to San Marino is we do so much. Even amidst all the craziness that is happening in the world, we figure out a way to get kids what they need. People are invested in each other. We hold each other up. We're grateful that we get to be here. We know how lucky we are, and we invest in that every single day.
It is now 7:56 p.m. And so we are happy to entertain any questions from the Board of Education at this time.
So Dr. Delatorre, I would just like to commend you and thank you. I think this was such a thorough, informative State of the District report. You know, a nice way to be able to look back, a nice way for us to view what we are presently doing, and then a preview of what may be in the future. So really, I commend you and your staff and your cabinet and your administrators for all that you have done. And this presentation was a wonderful one. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you, President Jack. Thank you.
So on behalf of the board, are there any questions that we would like to ask of Superintendent Dr. Delatorre?
I didn't have a question at the moment, but I think one thing that was missing was a huge shout out and thank you to you, Dr. Delatorre. I didn't see anything really, because I don't think you're going to be tooting your own horn, and yet you really rose to the occasion for us when we needed stability, we needed strategic thinking, and we needed somebody who really was willing to make the tough calls when it needed to be done, but also to defer to those who might know on the ground a different way of doing things too. And I am just so grateful for your leadership this year and for the way that you've really helped us navigate yet again another unprecedented year. So I just wanted to say that before we got into anything.
Thank you.
By the way, I serve for long-term safety committee member, represent for board member. I appreciate your leadership, and from the superintendent to the executive staff and to the four school site principal. I think that during the COVID-19, it's been almost 2 years. Thank you so much for your open mind. When we have a suggestion and we can adjust and adapt the new the action. So that's the reason I think this school district student have a more lucky than the other school. So thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to say something. Thank you so much, each of the site administrators, for your presentation. It gave us a lot of joy seeing the kids, but also hearing your report, the in-depth look at where we've been, where we're now, and where we're going. How inspirational the young people are for all of us. And thank you so much for your dedication and work. And then Dr. Delatorre and her executive staff, thank you for taking us through last year and now this year. Without your leadership, I don't know if we would be in this particular position. And then I also want to thank my fellow board members for the work that you guys put in as well, because I think we're in this together. And I think together we are rising. Thank you.
I would like to also thank the site principals, as well as all of the teachers and all of the classified staff at every site, across the board, up and down and throughout the district. I know that everybody has done a tremendous amount this year to really step up for our students and our families. And I'd like to thank also the Schools Foundation for the donation that was made tonight. That's a tremendous donation. So thank you for that, as well as all of the PTAs as well. I know that each of the members of the executive committees and all of the parents that are and teachers that are working with those PTAs to provide a great environment for our students. So thank you, as well as Dr. Choi and Dr. Richter and Dr. Delatorre. Thank you very much for everything all of you guys have done.
Thank you. So I would like to end by saying, and I think Principal Kirkenbach, you're the one who said this, but I think we have all, I mean, you encapsulated it, you articulated, but you know, we are a community of support of each other. So, and I know that we keep repeating ourselves, but I don't think we can say it enough. I thank my fellow board members. I thank the superintendent under her leadership, her cabinet, Dr. Leonard Richter, Dr. Stephen Choi, our site principals, extraordinary. Your stories were amazing and uplifting. And to our extraordinary teachers, to our fantastic classified staff, and our community partners, the foundation, the Chinese Club, just to mention a few. So really, we started by saying, you know, we'd like to express our gratitude. So I'd like to end the meeting by saying we'd like to express our gratitude yet once again. And at 8:06, meeting is adjourned. Thank you. Thank you.